Howdy, Commanders. Echo here. Been seeing a lot of shade out there on the internet lately towards the French destroyers, and I don't really think it's well deserved. So today we're going to take a look at a technique called the French flip. This is something you can do in these sort of upper tier French destroyers, the Gueparde, the Vauquelin, the Le Fantasque, when we're able to get it next week, and the premium tier 6 Le Terrible. We're going to talk generally about the roles of the French destroyers, even including the lower tier ones, but especially these upper tiers with their peculiar torpedo arrangements, and specifically address how you can use this technique to really maximize the effectiveness of these boats. The game we've got in the background, which we will be commenting on quite a bit, is on Sea of Fortune. It's in that tech tree tier 6 French DD, the Vauquelin. We are punching up to 7. We're joined by Shadow, and he's in the shores. We've spawned southeast with a battleship who dips out as he's confident that Shadow and I have it under control. We've got the 4-cap arrangement, so we start with the Delta cap, they start with the Bravo cap. So you can see that I was just coordinating there with Shadow, directing him kind of where I think he should go, kind of southeast of Charlie there, so he can lock down across Charlie northwest towards the cap that the enemy's own. We are going to let parts of this game play out with the live commentary track as we're talking and communicating, because I want you to hear some of that stuff. So you may hear my overdub drop out occasionally, and then we'll hear the comms a little bit better.
Comrade, comrade, we got into the stockpile of vodka. We were shooting at friendly destroyers and ran aground.
Put the bottles in the guts.
Now you notice here, after a little bit of humorous interjection, I am not going immediately into the Charlie cap right away. And I will actually make note of this in the live gameplay later to Shadow, but I am not going directly into Charlie because the enemy can basically draw a straight line from our spawn right to Charlie and know exactly where I am once he sees it start to get flipped. You see me, yeah, see I'm commenting on it right there. Don't go right into the caps. The meta has changed, ladies and gentlemen. Most of the time, don't go into the cap. So right there, we're checking. We see that the Moss was spotted on the other side, which means the Jervis was spawned on our side, and he's paired with the York. Short. There's the Jervis. We outspot him by almost an entire kilometer. We do get into the cap, so he does know where we are, but look at his position. He's pinching himself between two islands as he approaches the cap for the first time. Now, I'm not in the best position. It'd probably actually be better for me to be south of this island to my right, but look at how quickly we wreck this guy. Kick the reload booster on, a couple volleys from ashores, and the Jervis is dead before my reload booster is even over.
I think by Gneiser now.
Just wrecked that guy. And even if I wouldn't have had shore support, that guy was not anticipating me. We outspotted him by a kilometer, and we wrecked him. Now, I thought this cruiser that was going to be here was going to be his support cruiser, but turns out it was the Atlanta, and that was a little bad for me. Did try to get, the 8.4, try to stay out of that range, but it was a little bit impossible, so I thought I'd dip into the cap and use this island here. You're going to see a little exchange where I use this island to block the Atlanta from being able to shoot me, even though he radars me. This is kind of one of the things you have to do in the French DDs. And you've got to be able to understand map awareness, ship abilities, what they can and can't do when you're up against them, more so than any other destroyer line. You don't have that safety blanket of the smoke screens. And you know what? That is what a smoke screen is. It's a safety blanket. Oh no, I got myself into a situation that I can't get out of. Oh, I better hit my smoke screen. You know what? You don't need a smoke screen to have great games. You can have great games without smoke screens. You just have to practice good destroyer management, map awareness, managing your blue detection ring, managing your throttle, managing your rudder to not get spotted. This was a bit of a, kind of awkward situation with this Atlanta, but we are able to make it work. As I say there, it's a coin flip. Now he's got his sonar going, which #wargaming, that should be a different indicator, by the way. It shouldn't be the radar indicator. Laying down torps there again. We launched those torps originally before we encountered the Jervis, kind of as a preventative measure. We're doing some there in case the Atlanta comes around the corner because we knew he was close with the sonar range. Turns out he's actually in reverse. He's running away from a Vauquelin and a Shores. But, you know, whatever. To each his own. This entire team that we've encountered is actually a little passive, but just because we have a good game against a passive team doesn't mean we wouldn't have had a good game against an aggressive team. So this is one of the things you can do with the French DDs is kind of zone an area and prevent people from pushing into you. They really have to respect your torps. 18,000 plus damage on these things. So here you're going to see the first instance of the French flip technique. We're going to wait for this other launcher to reload, the one that we used on the Atlanta there. And now we're kind of open water zoning this Gneisenau. He can't really push into us and push towards Shadow and the Shores to be more aggressive like he wants to with me right here. And this is one of the main roles you have to fill in the French DDs. You know, yes, you can contest caps quite well. You don't need a smoke screen to contest a cap. And in my opinion, smoke screens can hurt you more than they can help you a lot of times, especially early game. The temptation is push into a cap. Oh, I got spotted. There's another DD here. Oh, pop my smoke screen. Sit in it. Oh, I got torped.
Now you will see the beauty of the French destroyers to make you turn.
He's on fire.
Yep, made him turn. Just don't beach, Echo. There's one torpedo. And now, because he turned, I got 3 more going at him. So if you notice there, I got him to turn. I did hit him with 1 torp. Incapacitated something, maybe a rudder or an engine. We missed it, so he damage con. Plus it was the fire. And we made him turn, and his rudder was over, and it took a while for his rudder to shift.
Get shit on, because there's 3 French DCs. Oh, good night, sweet prince.
We destroyed an enemy battleship.
Blammo! That's right, Echo. That was a blammo
right there,
moment.
ladies and gentlemen, is why you play the French DDs as torpedo boats.
That's exactly it. You got to run Abanu on these boats. And now we'll actually have a moment to talk about this a little bit and not comment so much on the gameplay, but you've got to set these up with Abanu. 14 Legendary 2 is the sweet spot. You've got a maxed out Subsurface Venture, you've got a maxed out Fragile Threat, you got a Mastery 3 of 4 on Torpedo Safari, your blue ring is basically as shrunk as it can be, your white ring on your torps is pretty darn good, it'll only get 4% better. Run a high level Bay, high level Otago. That's the build, that's the setup. These boats are so good when you build them and run them like that. You saw there, I can screen that Gneisenau and punish him for pushing into the Shores like that. Get him to turn with those first 6, flip the French destroyer around, get the other 3 torps, boom, 1, 2, 3, game over, lights out, dev strike. You saw it there. We're actually going to do it again later in this game. I've done it with the La Terrible before, I've done it in the Vauquelin many, many times. The French flip is the way you get these boats to work. It works well in open water. You can also see you've got those really aggressive forward angles on the wing-mounted turrets. So you can kind of use this similar to how you use the front-mounted single tubes on the low-tier German DDs, like the Premium G101, the V170, and the V25, where you're kind of, as you're going bow into things and pushing, you can shoot 3 and then just barely swing the nose and shoot another 3 and kind of get a converging double set of triple spreads. So it's a great way to kind of set up lots of different angles. You know, get the torps coming at them from one side and then another and then another. It's pretty nice to have that 3 different angles of the torps coming off your boat. So now this game is already basically in garbage time. We're up by quite a few kills. We're up 3 caps to 0. We're flipping the one that they started with. I'm on it, and our other DD is on it, and we're about to see a very strange exchange here. I do get a little sloppy with this Atlanta. I was totally cognizant of his 8.4 before, but now watch what's about to happen. It does throw me for a little bit of a loop here.
Yeah, he's blind firing into the cap. Holy shit!
Did y'all catch that? Yeah, he reset me there without actually hitting me with a shell.
Sometimes when I get spotted immediately.
So I don't understand that. I paused it, I looked at it, counted the shells, they all splashed in the water. Not a single one of them hit me. I didn't get hit at all. No damage on me, nothing. And yet he still got resets. Have you ever shot at someone in a cap, got no damage, got no shell hit indicator even, but you got a green ribbon and wondered why? Yeah, it definitely happens quite a bit. So this game was in garbage time, but the enemy team is trying to claw back the kill component of the game, so we've got to play a little carefully here. We are inside the radar range of that Atlanta, and we got kind of lucky that we didn't totally screw it up. Having that reset happen to us kind of totally threw us off. Shadow in the Shores takes care of the Atlanta. It's game over for him. He's back checking out what's available in the store again. Iowa also goes down, and now we've pretty much got this one locked up. And we're going to set up another French flip here. We're going to shoot both torps off of one side, the front launcher and the center launcher. And now we're going to flip the boat around. And we're going to shoot the other three at him, much like we did the Gneisenau earlier. So the game is getting close to the end. I do just want to mention that, you know, if you're trying to set these French DDs up as gunboats or whatever, and you're not really, you know, looking at these things as torpedo boats, I encourage you to shift your focus. This thing really wants to be played as a torpedo boat. You got to maximize the range of your torps and minimize your concealment. And then you've got a little bit of range to play with. Don't worry about trying to gun things down. These things have high alpha strike guns with high HE fire chance. You've got to hit them with the torps, get the flood, and then you can gun them down. Finish them off damage-wise, or at least get a fire going. You saw in that opening exchange with the Jervis. Low concealment. I outspotted him by over a kilometer, and you'll basically outspot almost everything except extremely well-concealed German and extremely well-concealed Japanese boats. You can use that reload booster on the main batteries to gun those boats down. That's what you got to do with these boats. That's how you make them work. Don't rely on a smokescreen. Don't rely on twist and track. They're crutches and security blankets. So I do want to mention, as we wrap up that post-battle results screen and take a look at the build, that in this game, Abanu wasn't even Legendary 2 yet, so his Fragile Threat wasn't even all the way maxed. So my blue ring would have been 2.5% better, would have kept that Jervis spotted, you know, an extra 200 meters longer before he even spotted me. Wasn't a perfect game, couple little kind of slip-ups there, but that's generally the gist of how you want to be thinking about and approaching these French DDs. Lull the enemy destroyers into a false sense of security, draw them into you, kick on that reload booster, screen open water against battleships pushing into your cruisers. Make sure that you stay close to your cruiser support, don't overextend, and these French DDs help you with that by not being overly fast, unless you have the speed boost on. Well, thanks an awful lot for listening, Commanders. I hope this helps you with the French DDs. Let me know how they're working for you in the comments below, and as always, stay salty, Commanders.